Well, moving to Iraq now, where years of war have had many devastating effects on the country. One of them is a serious rise in bacterial resistance to antibiotics. A team of experts at the American University of Beirut has just published a study which cites destroyed infrastructure, medical shortages and heavy metal contaminations as the most likely culprits. To talk more about that, we're joined by Professor Cyrille Cohen. He's the head of the Laboratory of Immunotherapy at Eilon University. Thank you very much indeed for being with us, Professor Cohen. Can you explain to us then what is the link between war, violence and conflict and a rise in antibiotic resistance?
Yeah, this is actually surprising. Good evening. Yeah, it is surprising, but basically you have to understand that when there is an overuse of antibiotics, we see a rise in microbes that are resistant to antibiotics. This is a well-known mechanism. So what we know is that because, for example, there are a lot of wounded people, so there are more use of massive antibiotics, massive quantities of antibiotics. In addition to that, when you destroy the healthcare system of countries, there is less and less, I would say, professional decisions made. And therefore, when someone has an illness, he or she can get access to more antibiotics when it's not needed. Other than that, we know that, for example, heavy metals can be used also as countermeasures against microbes. And we know that in weapons, they are also used. So in general, when you use weapons, those heavy metals can stay in the ground and then contribute to the emergence of bacteria that are more resistant to, I would say, for example, heavy metals. So because we apply some pressure in terms of distribution of antibiotics and other, I would say, metals, etc., we lead the system to develop resistance to that. And we end up with bacteria that are causing diseases that are very difficult to treat.
Well, Iraq has a lot of challenges, security challenges, infrastructure challenges, widespread poverty. Is this something that the government should be prioritizing? What are the risks associated with antibiotic resistance?
Yeah, definitely. It's not only this particular government, but I think that this should be a worldwide concern, the same way we are concerned about pandemics. We just finished 3 years of COVID. I'm not saying that it's totally over, but again, we're in much better shape today than what it was. So therefore, it is a concern, not only for the people in Iraq, I believe, but the people in the region, because basically the emergence of those bacteria means that, I would say at some point, this will spread to other parts of the world. And we are really in a problem because we believe that by 2050, like in 25 years, our common antibiotics, most of the antibiotics that we are using will be helpless against a large range of bacteria. So we need to be concerned. We need to, on the one hand, limit the use of antibiotics, and on the other hand, develop new antibiotics to, I would say, be able to face new resistant microbes.